So yeah, man, I just think Liverpool smelt blood and they went for the kill and did what they needed to do. I have to say the one thing I was disappointed with is probably our final third play, but I would say the goals we conceded, because it's a bit harsh, but like I don't feel just feel you if you're doing any analytical stuff on Liverpool, you know the game's based on movement. You can't you can't really do them thing there, if that makes sense. So for me, it's the lessons. And big up Esh, you're a United fan. It's a bit like when we played you lot, where you had Fred's not known for it, but Bruno, Fred at the time, and Ronaldo, key players or great players. What separates his movement, we're not picking up runners, and these are things that man have to learn in this thing, if I'm completely honest with you. As I said, this game showed that we've made progress, but we're also not quite there yet. We just have to keep going. And for all the fight, we find ourselves in a top 4 race and whatnot, Arsenal have not arrived yet. You're still arriving. You haven't done anything yet. We're moving in the right direction, but conclusions are being drawn. It was one of the better games. But fundamentally, it's still an L, bro. Like, if I'm looking at the last 10 games where Liverpool have handed our asses to us, I'm not going to be back. But that one there, that's a better 2-0 defeat than that one there. We lost, bro. Like, it weren't as deep as a loss as it used to be. There are some positives. It's not really the big of an L as we thought, but it's dead, really. We held our shape very well in the first half. We had some half-decent passes. We made it more of an even contest. We kind of frustrated them. We made Klopp have to change his tactics, have to change a couple people's positioning, as you saw. That 9 times out of 10 don't happen when we butt Liverpool. And as much as I find that good, we need to differentiate now. Like, okay, that's good in comparison to what Arsenal needed to do. But in terms of basic competencies, DG preaching for the fullback union. Now, come on. Did Laka have a shot yesterday, brother? When you find out, I watched the game twice. I can't tell you a meaningful shot still, and we're never in it. But Laka can't really create his own thing like that. But yeah, man, the limitations around certain man, and it's been here. It's just certain fans, according to whether we win, lose, or draw. That's when it matters, really and truly. A lot of people are limited. As I said, the game showed me we have made progress, but we're also not just there yet. I feel we was compact. We pressing when it was on. We was being cute with the fouls, one at times as well. The 2 goals were the transitions, though, man. The areas it could have been stopped. Obviously Saka's the full guy, Ramsdale's the full guy, but there's moments where these goals can be stopped. People, it can happen. I do think there needs to be balance. 2 truths can be held in. We played well, but fundamentally it's another loss versus a big team. It's still another goal, not against Chelsea. I'm not against Liverpool or half of these teams. I'm mentioning Chelsea because I think, did we talk about them in the champs? We did, innit? I'm just seeing my own notes. As I said, Liverpool showed grinding out results. I mean, with Ruben Neves, you saw Liverpool celebrating like they won the league. Are you going to say anything? They showed how to grind. They showed how to play dirty. They showed how to win when you're not playing amazing. That's what we need to learn. Win when we're playing shit and things like that. We didn't really let Liverpool play through us. I did think they would dominate us a bit better centrally, but that's one positive I can take. But yeah, second half is where it's all won and lost, essentially, man. Again, you have to keep your high standards. The Mane offside goal has to be a warning sign, people. Just before the goal, there's a ball over the top for Jota that gets dealt with, but we need to calm ourselves down. And in the 47th minute, there's again a ball over the top from Trent that I think eventually Cedric and Ben White dealt with. But the warning signs, do you get it? I just feel after the restart as well, we was going long again. And obviously, Klopp has sat them down and said, listen, they're not doing much. The ball's into the channels. Again, Robertson's doing well, Trent as well. But it's just that. And I think from the start, we was doing that. And we're tiring Saka and Cole out as it's working. And if the manager's telling you to do it, do it. But at the same time, you need a bit more variety. You need to be a bit more cuter with it, people. If I'm completely honest with you. It is what it is, people. So yeah, on that, let me draw for my tactics board clearly, man. Your analysis covering everything. You have to, bro. Like, listen, I don't come here and waffle respectfully, or if I do waffle, it's things I believe. Now, obviously, this isn't to scale people, but this is what I mean. Now, in real time, there was obviously more Arsenal players in the box, but this is what I mean about clearing your lines properly. Tabs, police, allow me. This is all for you lot. Now, if you lot remember, Gabriel, again, we in real time, we've stopped. It's static, in it. But Gabriel could have put his foot through it. He doesn't. It's kept alive by Liverpool. There's a melee in the box where several nonchalance harsh, but he's tried to clear it. It's not banged. Credit to Robertson for that one. Low key, Liverpool's man of the match probably won't get any limelight per se like that. Now, that's a problem from Saka. Saka has to hold his L for that. But again, you can't just blame one man, in my opinion, because you can see the sequences of play which is leading to it. This is the second goal, by the way. We've not cleared our lines. If I remember correctly, let me put Cedric here. No, let's move these up. Again, if you play Sunday League football, you need to clear and defend properly, but you need to push up. This tells me we're still a young team. We're still naive because no one's organizing. Cedric stepped out. Cedric's actually done the right thing as a fullback. Cedric's done the right thing. Step out. They're offside if the cross comes in. Step up. He stepped up on his J's. Other man are ball watching, not doing the right thing. The best footballers in the world have elite movement 9 times out of 10. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Firmino made an elite run. The ball's come into the box. You've seen him too late. Ramsdale should do a lot better. I'm less on Ramsdale for this goal because I think for me there were several phases of play. Should do better. We don't. This is how they scored their second. Their first, sorry, if we just go back temporarily, like I said, we was pressing them well. Their front three not to scale again. They're not really in the game per se. Now, Liverpool tried to change things. As you know, they've gone with a midfield of Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago. Now, right? Cool. If you remember, in real time, you know, we're compact, we're narrow and things like that. They've said to Trent, go and get further forward at occasions. Henderson has been surveilling that position just to look after Trent going forward. Matip actually got further away from Van Dijk, again, not to scale, so they can keep Trent further up and start to do things. Fabinho, obviously, just making sure he's in that area. But for large parts of the game, you know, Thiago, Liverpool are not really doing much on the ball. We're forcing them back. They're not really doing what they're doing in the middle, people. And Thiago's having to go backwards, which is great because if you can see Thiago in his own half, you're doing all right. But this is where Liverpool went up a level. If you remember the build up to the goal, yeah, Thiago's played a couple of passes back. He gets it back from Van Dijk. One of the first times of memory I can remember him getting his head up and looking. We're in trouble now. Like I said, he's in a half now. We're in trouble. Remember what I said about if you send the text, there needs to be a receiver, right? Off the ball, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Again, you need to know where your runners is. They did this against Brighton. It was 2 different players. It was Matip passing, you know, it was Matip passing the ball for Thingy. What's his face, man? Diaz against Brighton. That weren't to be, you know. That weren't to be. It is what it is. And this is what I mean. For the second, Ramsdale, there's too much problems before that. I did think Ramsdale's beaten too easily there. And again, Ramsdale's not going to be the finished article at his age. He's not. He's come to Arsenal where, let's be real, everything's on the floor. Tommy actually didn't have to do much to get rated as a right back, take nothing away from him because he actually a competent keeper. You know, he's actually talks and I still back him. But we know there's been a couple of goals he could have done better. Go back to what goal was it against Watford? You know, man are even saying he could have done better for the cross where Chucho was scored, which maybe he could have. I think that's harsh. He defo, again, sequence of play, not just to blame him, but I swear there was one, he kind of jumped over the ball against Watford. We know sometimes not, you know, getting beaten at your near post, not getting a strong enough hand to things, positioning in the last few weeks before this, his distribution's elite, but Buki distribution, these are things. Ramsdale is not the finished article. He's a 23-year-old keeper. He's still my guy. Still think you're a solid signing, gonna be a solid signing, should be first choice for England. But isolated to this game or just in general, none of these guys are the finished products, bro. I love Gabriel. He's got a mistake in him and it's highlighted against these teams. I love Saka, but I've said he needs to improve defensively. I love the back 5 unit, with excluding Tomiyasu, he's not there. But we're improved defensive side. We're not a good defensive side because football's a defending like football's a thinkers man game. We didn't think in these aspects, We can't match Liverpool for quality. They're a golfing class. What we can match them for is decision making, being a bit street smart. As I said, if they send a text, you got to receive it. Thiago's been able to get up and find a pass. It's been a run. The run's been made. The run's been made. This time it's Jota who's had a quiet game. He sprung the offside trap. He's in it. Ramsdale, obviously disappointing for me to see you beaten at that near post, but this is the age he's in. He's in, man. I'm even struggling. I'm even struggling to see what Saka did for the second goal. He did all he could to clear it. It's just the ricochet fell kindly. That's what you've kind of answered your question. He didn't clear it properly. Gabriel, Saka should have cleared it better. The melee in the box should have cleared it better. You've answered it really. Either Saka has to win a foul there or make sure you clear it. That's what you've answered your own question respectfully. But yeah, they're in. As I said, that's the one disappointment for me because you need to follow runners. in any walk of life. And the last couple of times, I go back to a couple of years ago where Milner either scored or set up one. We've known how this script goes for years. So yeah, man, I would say some positives. Partey played very well, in my opinion. Obviously, Gabriel up against Trent Alexander-Arnold. At least we leave with something. We were a bit more, still lost, but was a bit more competitive. It was a bit more admirable. You can see what we're trying to do. We still need to go to the next level. You can still see some limitations collectively, individually, in the defensive transition remaining switched on. Don't really have much in games like this in an attacking half because we ain't really got the players for that. The midfield, if we had a number 8 like Thiago or someone that could do that, we might be able to do a thing, but is what it is. I feel a positive could be Cedric. You kept Diaz up. Partey played well. Martinelli played well. You know, you can games like this, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't paper over cracks. Whether you win, lose, or draw, you have to earn that right. So it is what it is. I don't think it's all doom and gloom, but yeah, it's just a we can talk about how he was in it for 54 minutes and all these things, but football's a 90-minute game. Remain focused, really. Obviously, it's a different game if we take half the literal half chances we had, and that's the difference. Liverpool created half chances. Liverpool can create a half chance and fundamentally take it. And I feel that's the difference, people. Goals change games. Goals change the trajectory whenever, people. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. As I said, it was very admirable seeing the slight tactical change and whatnot. As you could see with Liverpool on the best of days, like most teams do against Arsenal, they stifle us trying to play through the middle. You could see it. The Liverpool press, mainly in the first half, piranha, you know, piranhas and that, you know, very narrow, very compact and whatnot. It was piranhas essentially, people, just hella piranhas up against us, sort of thing. And as you know, obviously at times we had to play, but primarily we're going, all right, you know what? Both teams were really doing it in wide areas. But you said, all right, you know what? Saka, there you go. You go up against Robertson. Sometimes he was beating Robertson. 9 times out of 10, Robertson was holding it up. And more so, we're getting change out of Martinelli. Head up and that. But it is what it is, man. There were several things we could have done better. Why did that happen? Sorry, folks. So there's that. Again, looking at some statistics, unfortunately, Arsenal have never kept a Premier League clean sheet against Liverpool since Klopp took charge, which is crazy. So good, I had to show you it twice. There's no place like away from home. Fuck it, oh man, you know, Shaq was doing us dirty there, innit? But true, what a player you are, man, Jota. You know, Roberto Firmino, he's probably going to be mentioned in folklore with Liverpool anyways, but he's now got 9 goals. He scored more against us than Watford. He loves to bully us London Coley guys, man. Obviously, for the first time in Liverpool's history, Liverpool have won 3 consecutive away games at Arsenal, and they haven't even conceded a goal. We've won the league at their ground, though. I got nothing, people. I've got nothing. We've got nothing. Like, we've had better than us, man. The longest winning runs in the top 5 European leagues. Look at City and Liverpool. Brazy. The margins for errors is brazy. Obviously, we're leaving with something. You know, Martinelli's game by numbers, 100% take on success, 6 touches in the ox box. You know, Trent's winning a tackle and they're fist pumping against him. I'm loving it. We're leaving with something. 6 times he won possession, 4 passes in the opposition box, 3 take-ons completed, 4 duels, 1, 2 crosses, 2 clearances, 1 shot created, 1 chance created, 1 shot. Klopp loves him. Just stay away. Thiago had a lit game. Thiago's game by numbers, he made the most interceptions well, and he even was nice enough to try and assist us as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold, to call him a world-class player is an understatement. You know, Trent has now Bruno, and you look at it, you know, the most points won in the Premier League since the start of 2018-19. Liverpool have 334, City have 335. Bracy. Absolutely brazy stuff. Three teams have had 3 players with 10 assists in the Premier League season. Liverpool have done it 3 times. Arsenal have done it once. City have done it, and you know, Liverpool stand on course to probably do that again, if I'm honest. Show up that one again. So yeah, man, it is what it is, man. Credit to Liverpool. They showed, you know, what we aspire to be, really. When you look at Jurgen Klopp, what did he say? On whether he saw it as a game of 2 halves, Yes, we had a better start in the game, obviously directly with corners, 2 or 3 corners we had in a row, and then we made a few mistakes. So both teams obviously had possession spells, but in our possession spells, we didn't really create because we didn't have enough bodies between the lines. We played a bit too much around the formation then, trying to find the gaps to pass the ball through. On the other side, when Arsenal had the ball, then we didn't defend enough front-footed. And I did say that I didn't think the press was as good as Liverpool could do it. Lacking Salah, I guess. We knew with the way they do it in open play situations, it means you have to be patient until a specific moment. Then you have to be there, and when Diego goes, we have to follow. Actually, the lines in general were too deep. It was like you said, but I was quite happy when it first half was over because then we could adjust a little at half time. As I said, things change. But we needed maybe still a wake-up call or an alarm bell from Thiago, increasing the excitement level a lot. Ali could save us in that moment. And from there, we did a lot of things better. The first goal was a good example. I think it was Thiago stepping in with the ball, changing the direction in the right way, passing the ball through. And all of a sudden, there was a gap. I don't think in the first half we had one of these moments. We had all these balls given them to the striker, foot on the ball, defending in the back, and these kind of things. So we needed to move more in the front line, and what we did. And there, Diego then obviously finished it off brilliant. Again, he did plan to take off Jota before the goal obviously went in. He bigged up his attacking options as well, people. Again, that's for Liverpool fans to look at, on the recent schedule, and I think it's very, Arteta was talking about our fixture calendar. If you wish to be Liverpool and these clubs, I know Pep and Klopp always moan about the fixture calendar list and how the games are, but you've got to get on with it. We didn't really care about it when we played Liverpool, when we played City, who had 2 games that week, or Leicester the other day. So we can't really complain. And if we wish to get into this territory, we're gonna have to get with it really and truly. I think we had 6 more games than Arsenal. You can see that as well. We constantly travel. We go here, we go there. We're in a hotel and stuff like this. Since we met last time, we had 6 more than them, I think. Hey, Klopp, man, we'd love to have the same. We weren't in Europe. And 7, if I'm right. 13 games is really mad, and it will not stop. Actually, I don't complain. We don't complain. It's just how it is. We wake up in a different hotel, and someone tells you where the restaurant is, and you try to remember the number of your room. That's our moment. That's our life in the moment. That's why I'm so happy today. Obviously, because coming here to Arsenal in that moment against this team, winning 2-0, that's really special, really, really special. He's spoken about momentum. He's spoken about whether he wanted to change. He said he was pleased with the second goal. He said Robbo really rated and didn't take the opportunity. He got the ball, stepped into the box, and then was waiting for movement. In the box. And then he found Bobby. I think there were 2 or 3 players in a proper position, but Bobby got the goal. That's the shambles of my position on the side. I only saw it once, and I didn't even see who scored. But I saw the yellow card for Bobby, and I thought he probably would have not taken his shirt off. If Hendo had scored, I'd watch it back. What did I say slightly before this? Movement. So, yeah, shout out to Klopp, but I just wanted to see some of that, people. Robertson spoke about the spirit. Robertson himself said, I think we just played a little better, to be honest. We started the game really well. First 5 or 10 minutes, couple of corners and a couple of chances. Then we had the better of the first half, the majority of it. Then we're keeping possession better. They were winning second balls a wee bit better than us. But we knew we were in at halftime 0-0. We knew we could play better. We knew we had to find the half spaces a bit better, tweak a couple of things. And that showed Liverpool's quality, Klopp's quality, but it also shows you how moments in games. So we can waffle about 54 minutes being well, but I'd say the first 10 minutes in the first half, and definitely in terms of where the game went against us, the first 10 minutes in that second half set the tempo. As I said, we weren't picking up runners. I don't think we learned the lesson from Mane scoring and it was offside. And I think in the first half, actually, I could be wrong, but there's a ball that's over the top for Mane, and Mane's touch is a bit dead. I think Gabriel's put him off. Warning signs are there. And Liverpool are a great team. Liverpool have earned the right to be one of the worst kept secrets in world football, in a sense of, like City, what they're about. They can afford to play their game more time. They did tweak things. Just to know they had to tweak things kind of gasses me a bit. But, playing well for 54 minutes, it not being a bigger L as it's supposed to be is dead, man. Our record against Klopp is shit, bro. The future is definitely bright for Arsenal. Like I said, trust in Arteta. I trust as far as I can see, man. I'm enjoying the way you do these debriefs with visual tools, man. Big up, DG. I try, man. I try. Big up yourself, Yoni. My morning's been good, man. My morning's been good. Neither team played well enough to say they deserved it. Liverpool scored the goals. I wouldn't say you get what you deserve in life. More time, necessarily you could say you feel hard done by, he didn't, whatever, but they tweak things. You could say in life, when you go into something, you have to tweak things. Sometimes it doesn't work, so they tweaked it. It worked. Their players showed their quality. I'm sure Liverpool fans got a bag of highlights this season, waffling about bigger things, but you need to grind out results. As I said in my live stream, Liverpool are used to this. Teams want to play well against you. Teams want to give a good account of themselves and things like that. So I wouldn't quite say Liverpool, neither team deserved to get something. I know what you mean in that it was, Arteta, Klopp, they definitely would like cleaner performances and more healthier, but it is what it is. They fashioned the goals. They scored their half chances. They deserved it. Like, it's not always a pretty thing, And I wouldn't say it's just the 2 moments. The 10 minutes of that second half changed that tie, really, man. Fair play to Liverpool, did what they're doing, really, He said, yeah. Then they had the better of the first half. The majority of it, they were keeping the possession better. They were winning second balls a wee bit better than us. We knew we could play better. We knew we just had to find the half spaces a bit better, tweak a couple of things. And luckily it worked. Second half, we were a lot more dominant. We were the ones pushing, and luckily we were clinical in front of goal. Exactly. Shout out to Robertson, man. The Scots are quite honest. Oh, yeah, of course, it's always good to contribute and assist goals. I got my head up and saw Bobby run ahead. Movement again. And I think it was a wee bit more of a defensive performance tonight. Me and Trent, Martinelli and Saka are really hard work, tricky wingers, always wanting the ball in behind, always looking to take you on 1v1. And I actually feel Saka did all right. But again, as a fullback, Robertson for me was Liverpool's man of the match, even in the first half, because he was the one. You can go and check my live stream. I said he's on it. They're not really on it. Trent had a good game, as did Martinelli. I thought Trent was outstanding against Martinelli, bro. He kept a clean sheet. It's never easy against Saka, so I was happy to keep him quiet in this game. Fair play. And Saka, that's where you got to go to. Clean sheet, and obviously to assist Bobby. Bobby deserves his goal. I thought he was outstanding when he came on. Fair play, man. And that's them. Where's Arsenal now, people? Shout out to you lot for tuning in. We know we've got rescheduled games. That's a bit irrelevant. Let's look at what's been said. Arteta on can't keep going. We was even. It just in the boxes for both teams. That's true. But this is football. It's the fine margins. How many? If you go and look at Liverpool's run to winning the champs in the Prem, there was margins where the games could have went for and against them. Chelsea the same, City the same, us many moons ago the same. Life is about fine margins. Literally. Literally, from the moment we're born, literally, life is about fine margins. This is the and with Liverpool, you need to look at this. But these are things that have been in our games. It's just when we win, we shut up about the positives. I mean, about the negatives or things that could be better. Not that there's anything necessarily beyond the obvious to be negative. We know we barely barely created. We know we lack that ruthless streak. We know we lack a lot of street smartness, as highlighted against one of the best teams in Europe / the league. And as much as we miss chances, and again, against a superior side, you've got to take them. Oh, how many did we really create? Liverpool took their half chances. We didn't. But what did we really create? Alisson didn't have much to do. Let's be honest. Odegaard's finish was shit anyways. Like, it's a big save from Alisson, but he's bottled it, really. Let's be real. On whether our missed chances decided the game, I don't think so. Obviously, if we score, it's a different game. And that's true. But if you can't score, keep out the back of your net. I think what changed the game is not following runners. We're starting to get tired in the second half. They're starting to increase their intensity. That's for me where it's gone. The performance of the team, I do, because we switched off for 2 of them goals, so they scored 2. But from box to box, I think in many moments we were the better team and we did everything we planned. But there's even been wins where that could be said. You could argue Watford, Leicester, Wolves. They could say the exact same paragraph that's been said there. I think in many moments we were the better team. We was the better team in some moments, and Liverpool was the same. But I'd rather trade places with Liverpool. You don't get points for playing well. You get points for winning. If you play like that 38 times a season, you might get applauded, but you get relegated because you lost. Really and truly, we played better against City than I feel Spurs did in their last 2 games against them. They got 6 points of City. We got analysis, so I don't know how far it goes. The way the boys performed showed their courage to understanding of the game. They really raised the level today, but unfortunately, these games are won in boxes, and that was the critical difference today, to not get anything out of this game. Unfortunately, I agree with what you're saying. It's actually nice to be in the Liverpool box. Pause. And whether that clinical edge showed the difference between us and Liverpool, it was the difference today. I don't think there was any difference apart from that. They followed runners, we didn't. I think we have closed that gap a lot. We can talk about closing gaps when we've actually got wins on the board. Of course, it was a more better performance across not just Liverpool but City, but we need to correlate that to winning now and actually going into games thinking we can get something out of this. So I see what you're saying. At face value, I agree with it, but it only extends so far because we didn't win. We didn't score. Two things that we ain't done for a minute against these men in the league. But it wasn't enough today, because when we went through the door and they went through that door, they scored 2 goals. I'm not happy with the goals that we conceded, but it's part of the game. And when you have those chances, you have to take them. On Ramsdale looking frustrated to concede the opening goal. Of course he will be frustrated, but this is part of the game. So every time he saves us and every time he's been phenomenal. And today he had some really good moments that helped us to do what we wanted to do in this game against Liverpool. Unfortunately, we conceded 2 goals, which are probably not at our level. And it's true because we've been improving defensively. But once again, you look at the 2 against Watford. You look at the 1 against Wolves. You look at the 2 today. We can go further and further. Cheap goals are a theme of ours, as much as we've improved to our own standards defensively. But yeah, man, it is where it is. On the mood inside the dressing room, they were down because they know how well we played, and now we've lost 2 games against City and Liverpool. When you are there toe-to-toe, you deserve much more than we got from the result. I hear you, but I disagree because we switched off. I'm sorry, but I've been waffling all week about movement. Like, as much as we did well, it's like a test. You could revise a test. You could revise very well, and you might not get what you deserve. But again, you have to ask yourselves, was you revising the right subjects to go into that exam? Again, we need to be careful. There was good moments. There was moments to be desired. But the reality is that we didn't. So in the box against City, it was all about the discipline because we got sent off. But those boxes make the difference against the top teams. Amen. If you're able to take the game all the way to the level, which is already very difficult, still there are details and margins that they're going to manage and try. And today they certainly did that in that period when we were most likely to score the first goal. And if he has to pick up the players from a defeat, yes, because every time after defeat, they're hurting. And we didn't want to stop the good run we're in. But we said it's not going to be like this until the end of the season. Now it's about how react. Bro, you lot, puff out your chest, hold it up. We lost. It is what it is. There's no, you learn in defeat. It's a reality check. It's a reminder that life isn't Disney Channel. You're in a fight for everyone that wants to get fourth. We knew we weren't going to win every game. So it started reaction against Villa. Don't feel sorry for yourselves. Pick up yourselves, man. What's all of that? No one's head should be on the floor because nobody played shit. Like where I think you don't have pride in the shirt and that. Sit up and stand up to be counted. We go again. Learn your lessons. Learn your lessons. On Martinelli's performance, I'm very pleased with how the team has performed again and how far they've taken the game, because I understand, because I've been there and know how difficult it is to play against this incredible team because they dominate every aspect of the game. And how we've done it, how they've exposed them, how we created the issues we created, how we dominated, the courage that we showed to play with the ball is not easy at all, believe me. Amen. On our tight schedule, thank you so much to the Premier League to do that. They've done it again, and we have to play Chelsea United. So if they want to give them any advantage, I say to them, thank you so much for doing that. We all know it's TV laws. They're capitalizing on this top 4 race. We've been dealt a short hand. But what I would say is, generally, I don't think it's right. Klopp and Pep moan about it all the time. We looked at Klopp's comments, but you get on with it. This is the territory. We benefited when we played City with it. Klopp kind of alluded to it earlier. Leicester played 2 games last week. That's going to be us next season by God's grace. We need to get on with it. We need a 25-man squad. I know this season we're in one competition. It's not really that deep, but there's no excuses. I know I'm not happy with it. No one would be. But you're going to have to stand up to be counted. Simple as that. On if the players will be fit for Saturday, yes, 100%. Don't worry, the players will be there on Saturday with the energy. They will sleep, eat well. But thank you so much to the Premier League for putting a fixture like this. It's very, very helpful. I tell you, it's mad. On if we've raised this to the Premier League, yes, absolutely, because it's not fair what they've done. Life isn't fair, bro, but we have to get on with it. It's always Sky or BT, this or that. But the only one that is affected is Arsenal. And the only one that I care about and what we care about is Arsenal. And for Arsenal, it's not fair. It isn't fair, but we take TV rights money, that we know they just care about TV rights. We have to get on with it. We have to get on with it. It is what it is. Get on with it. We need to stay positive. You know, big up Cedric, because you had a decent performance, nothing to cry about. But you get me, like you can leave with no shame. You never got ripped. The goal come from your side, but you never got ripped. You didn't get torn a new one. There's no highlights reel of you getting bamboozled and that. There was one incident where you look feeble, but he said in the end in football you need to look at the results. Cedric's my guy, you know. Just from that sentence, I love it. Most of the game we controlled, and even after the first goal, we tried to react. We tried to go and try something, and we conceded another one. A little bit unfortunate. This is football, and we need to stay positive, to believe in what we do. We need to put our head straight for Aston Villa. I need a reaction because Cedric, I don't forgive you for Aston Villa in the FA Cup a couple of years ago. Still, reaction. Of course, we are disappointed. We didn't want this result, but on the other hand, we are very, very proud of the team. What the team is building, what the team is creating between each other and together with the staff is fantastic. True. It's very, very important that we stay positive, that we have a good reaction on Saturday. We need to focus on our recovery. It's 2 days basically, then we play again. So we need to be straight on it. And it's a very, very important game for us. I'm sure the team will stay positive and give a good answer. Amen. Big up Cedric for that one, man. Shout out Cedric. I might have to say, I'm starting to like you now, Cedric, you know. I'm starting to fuck with you, man. Starting to fuck with you for that one. Fullback union, you know it doesn't take much for me to side with these sort of players there, but yeah, you get where I'm at with that. But yeah, it is what it is in that regards, people. Shout out to everybody tuned in. Without you lot, this is dead, folks. So yeah, man, big up yourselves each and every time. But that was a long one. So I think with that we can start closing some tabs and start looking normal again. Start closing up that.